Dr. Amanda with Straightsmile Solutions, straightsmilesolutions.com, and today I want to address a dilemma that one of my connections was telling me about. She was an associate at an office, and it sounded really great, and she was going to do Invisalign there, and there was no one else at the office who was trained to do Invisalign. And she said, yeah, sure, I'll come in, I'll do bread and butter dentistry plus Invisalign, it's all good. And then something weird happened in the office, and she needed to get out of there. I've also heard of it, something happened at the office and someone just needed to move, because there was an issue with their family and they needed to change states. So the question is, when I have active Invisalign cases, do I need to finish them? So ultimately, I can't really answer that question. I do have a lot of other videos you might want to refer to that were more for the owner doctor's perspective on how to pay an associate. So try going into my channel, Straightsmile Solutions, and keyword search Invisalign, associate, and you can see those videos and listen to those, which is the opposite perspective, like how to pay an associate, how to make sure your associate stays and finishes the cases. So you need to go back and read your contract. Perhaps you need to have an attorney read it. I don't know, that's going to cost money. But it should be pretty clear as to how that's going to work. Obviously, some of the variables that you need to keep in mind are whether you're a W-2 employee or if you're a 1099 contractor. If you're an employee, no, you're not going to need to finish this unless you have some weird clause in your contract. That's the owner doctor's problem. Now, the other variable that you need to keep in mind is that patient in your Invisalign account, your own personal one, or is it in the account of the owner doctor, or is it in the account of the company? 3 different places it could be. If it's in the owner doctor's account and you're an employee, definitely don't need to finish it. Definitely not. If it's in your own account and you're an employee, well, that probably shouldn't have happened. That's your mistake for doing that. That's going to get a little more messy because it's still your patient until you can find someone else, and you are obliged to finish care or find somebody to finish care. So it's maybe more of the issue with the owner doctor to make sure that gets transferred to either their account or somebody else's account, or the owner doctor needs to transfer this patient to an orthodontist and pay for them to be finished. Now, you may get not great compensation for this. You're going to have to read your compensation and how it is, and you might not get paid for this. You might take a loss on it, but if you really need to move, you have to be willing to take the loss. So yeah, read the fine print. Some of you are going to have clauses that says you need to finish the case. Well, that means you either need to stay and finish the case, which, by the way, from personal experience, is a hot mess. Normally, it usually just isn't worth it. It's just drama. Like you might give them, okay, I'll give you one Saturday morning a month. Well, what if this patient decides they can't come in on Saturdays? Which has happened to both myself and my husband when he was an associate. He was doing Invisalign for some offices as a GP. And that's exactly what happened. He tried with his best goodwill to give them 1 day a month, 1 day every 2 months. But ultimately, the patients were like, I can't come. And then they get upset. And then they get upset at him. And then they leave him a bad review in his other practices. So that just really doesn't work out. So eventually, I think he just walked away and just told the owner doctor, excuse me, I'm losing my voice. You're going to have to either find a way to finish this yourself or transfer this to an orthodontist and, pay for that, because I'm doing my best. I can't just come in whenever, I have another job. So yeah, it's why it's important that, I love the idea of you guys doing Invisalign in an office as an associate. There's nothing wrong with that, but you need to make sure you have an exit strategy, so that this patient has continuity of care, because it is an issue if you just abandon the patient, if there isn't continuity of care. Now, if you have a really great Clincheck, it's really not a problem because they can just keep refining and pairing it with the old Clincheck. But this is where Straightsmile Solutions come in. We can definitely, we're not doing your cases for you, but we can definitely audit your cases and let you know if everything's going well, give you peace of mind. And so it can easily be transferred to the owner doctor or another associate. And then it's just easy, as long as the patient's doing what they need to do, set up virtual care, it's just finishing up what you already had planned. It really should not be a problem. If the team, who probably does most of the appointments anyways, is trained up on putting in attachments on and doing what they need to do and doing the checks, it is very possible for you to work virtually, if that's allowed in your state or country, and to have the team do the work and to have the patient overseen by a dentist. I'm just giving ideas because it is very possible to do that. But obviously read your own Dental Practice Act in your own state or country to make sure that's okay. but not hard. I mean, there's a lot of us orthodontists out here that will help you with at least making sure it's a good Clincheck and it's a predictable Clincheck, and can give the owner dentist peace of mind that everything's going well, even if they're not familiar with how to do aligner cases. So I mean, and then it's just money, just finish it up. So, all right, hopefully that's helpful. Thank you.